Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 407. I am your host, Matrix 4212, and I'm with David. What's up, David?
Hey!
All right, so what articles do you have for us today on the Everything Show?
All right, let me pull up the very, very long list that you gave me. I mean, seriously.
Yes, we might have to do a couple of Everything shows with all the news, and news is breaking right now. So,
Essentially, folks, he's giving me a laundry list.
yes, and I'm actually I'm home super early. Right now it's 8:42, but usually I'm not home till like 10, 10:30, 11.
All right, here we go. CW plans a Friday the 13th TV series. This is kind of going to go hand in hand with another article we have about the CW, so I'll just do that one after this one. The CW is officially developing a horror crime thriller series based on the long-running slasher film franchise Friday the 13th. Steve Mitchell and Craig Van Sickle, creators of the 1990s NBC series The Pretender, are developing the property, which aims to reimagine the masked man Jason Voorhees in a more grounded and realistic context. The story will deal with the ongoing quest of a detective's search for his missing brother, a search tied to the long-thought-dead serial killer who has now returned to wreak havoc in the new Crystal Lake. Legion of Leia has further plot details, which says Crystal Lake isn't a remote woods area now. Instead, it's a thriving town full of young rich types and old regulars who grew up there. The source says, it's like the town from Jaws. It's like Amityville 20 years later, and someone says, I think the shark is back. Everyone's like, oh shit, we can't have the shark back. We've finally grown up as a town, and we have all this mythology, but it ruined our city. The series won't ignore the films either. Quote, we're going to basically acknowledge that the people came to this town after these killings happened, and they made all these movies. And now the town has a stigma. Our show is, here's the true story. Here's the real story of Jason. It's been taken and exploited. So we have the young crowd who doesn't know who he is except for what they've seen in the movies.
That's the thing. See, this is the thing. I'll let you finish the article, and then I really want to say something immediately following. Yeah.
So we have the young crowd who doesn't know who he is except for what they've seen in the movies. The older crowd's afraid of him. We have a lot of people who have scars from it. This marks one of several film-based TV shows in development at the CW, with others including The Notebook, Little Women, and Frequency, along with the Archie Comics-inspired Riverdale. Before you say anything, I want to say I like that they're going meta with this, and they're actually saying like, oh yeah, these films happened, but they were films based on a real serial.
Horrible. Horrible. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. You know, you envision, okay, it would be great if this could have a series. Finally, you could have more Friday the 13th. And then they ruin it because...
Okay, hold on.
No, I have to say what I have to say first, okay? I am a fan of Friday the 13th since before you were born, right?
Yeah?
Huge fan, okay? You can't crack on what came before. You can't say that these are movies and shit on it. You can't.
No, they're not. What it is, they're taking like a sort of realistic killings that this so-called realistic Jason has done, and they've basically they've trying to think of the word. It's kind of like how you just I can't figure the term for it.
I
exaggerate. You exaggerate what happened.
I don't like that. That's not what I've been waiting for. Again, it's constantly, even with Scream, like, I want the actual product, okay? Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees from the movie, from Paramount, okay? Take off where 8 left off. None of that demon stuff, none of that futuristic stuff.
But wait, aren't you the same person who thought it was bad when, Ash versus Evil Dead ignored the continuity of other films? Don't you? You get annoyed at that, but why is it suddenly okay for these Friday the 13th films to be swept under the rug?
They're not swept under the rug. I want them to acknowledge that they're not movies, they're reality, because it's a freaking thing.
You just said you wanted a Friday the 13th film that, it continues the story, but it ignores...
From 8.
Yes, But what about the films that come after?
Because they're from a different company that purchased the rights to Jason.
But it's still part of the story.
No, it's not, because it's from now. They can't talk about that because they're back into Paramount's hands. So they're not allowed to talk about Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, because it is a Warner Brothers property, a New Line Cinema property. So now that it's back home, if they were going to do continuation, it would be from 8 on. That's it, from 8 in Manhattan. They can't talk about it. It's illegal. So they have it for a couple years, and then it's going to go back to New Line. So that's what I want. I want a sequel to Part 8. You could maybe not even say it. You could say, oh, he went back to Crystal Lake or whatever, but I don't like it that they're doing this like a joke, like, oh, these movies were movies and it wasn't real, but this is the real Jason, and I don't want that, okay? That's not Friday the 13th. I hate when people change it, okay? I didn't like what Scream did, okay? Now I'm starting to watch it. I like it, but it's not the Scream that I like, okay? It's not the characters that I like. It's not anything recognizable to Scream, okay? Same thing with, what was the other, Ash vs. Evil Dead? They have to count Army of Darkness, because the biggest thing was that he was like, went back in the past, and he did all that, and then supposedly when he came back, they were still around, but he was like the king, hail to the king type of thing, like he was, on top. So you can't just, like, in that case, it's the same company, so you have 3 movies. Why are you ignoring one of them? But in the case of Paramount Pictures did not have anything, that they sold it. They said, yeah, we want to sell it. Here you go. Okay? Because New Line was growing because of the Freddy fame. They threw him a crap load of money to get Jason. Paramount's like, yeah, okay, we could do that. But now, due to a twist with Christopher Nolan doing Interstellar, to get that made, he did these weird deals, and he made it possible with Friday the 13th went back to Paramount, and I think South Park also. I mean, this is the weirdest deal in history, but it's amazing. And now we have the keys to the kingdom back at Paramount Pictures. Okay? So do movies. Don't do, they're not even doing the reboot, the sequel to the reboot. Do movies the way you used to do movies with Friday the 13th. Okay? Don't friggin' ruin it. Because I'm telling you, if they do this on TV, first of all, it shouldn't even be on the CW. It should be on AMC or whatever. Because you can't, like, how are you going to have something like that and put that on Channel 11 with The Flash and Arrow? I mean, you're not going to be able to do anything. You're not going to be able to purge.
It's probably going to be late night. It's going to be a late night one. I don't think they're going to do.
And it's not going to be bloody. It's not going to be anything. So it's why bother? The only so far, because Ash vs. Evil Dead, we didn't see it yet. The only thing that made it as a TV series from the horror stuff that we liked was Bates Motel. And it did even a better job, okay, that they could actually make that movies from Bates Motel. But other than this, I am very unhappy. And I'm telling you, I'm a huge Friday the 13th fan. Okay, I went to see Tom Savini in the convention. I have the Jason Snow Globe. I have the bobbleheads. I have all the friggin' sets with Friday the 13th. I'm a huge Friday the 13th fan. Not happy. So, yeah.
Well, I completely disagree with you. I think this is a really interesting take on it. I mean, the movies can continue from Jason Takes Manhattan, but I would like to see another way that Jason can be looked at, and perhaps in a realistic light, Jason can be looked at in another interesting way. I don't have a problem with that because I'm not a stickler for continuity, except when it comes to Batman. I mean, that's when I get passionate. It's like when you mess with stuff like the Star Wars timeline or the Batman timeline, then I'm gonna get pissed off. But I mean, for this, and I do like the Friday the 13th movies. I like the Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but I'm open to this. I am very open to this. I'm willing to give it a shot. So anyway, second article. We'll just go in order here.
Well, why don't we, you know what? Here's the thing. I just got word that Steampunk's podcast is starting way earlier than expected. I thought it was going to start at 11, not in 10 minutes. So we only got less than 10 minutes. Let's stick with this Friday the 13th thing. All right, what's the next song you have, first of all?
It's Power Rangers reboot character details.
Okay, do that. We'll do that, and then we'll come back on the Everything Show after Steampunk.
Yeah, Reader's Digest version, yes, it is going to be the original 5. They have not released Tommy yet. I think Tommy will probably be an end credit thing if they decide to do that. So this will be on the original 5. I'll just read them very quick. Jason, a freshman quarterback and legend whose life came to a halt in a car accident. Now he's a guy in need of redemption and will be leading this disparate group of teens to shed their individual baggage. Kimberly, a former popular girl who is now unconventionally cool and has returned to school after an absence of 6 months, boasting a new rebel without a cause, edgy attitude that hides a deep and vulnerable secret. Trini, the perpetual loner, mysterious, bright, and always observant. All she wants is to find her gang of friends, but she'll never admit it. Billy, slight and awkward. He's smart and sweet, but with no filter and limited social skills. Having never really had any friends, he instantly gravitates towards Jason. And Zach, the life of the party and filled with bravado and swagger. A tough and cool exterior full of confidence who secretly feels deeply inferior to all his peers due to his trailer park origins. So pretty much, yeah, this is the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger teams. If the names didn't give it away, the description certainly did. I don't know how I feel about the Kimberly being like this edgy. I don't want it to be like that Power Rangers ripoff film because, you know.
Oh, I like that, the adult one.
No. You want to know what that was? That bootleg, that was not Power Rangers. That was a grotesque and horrible look at Power Rangers. Now, did it look awesome? Yes. But story-wise, I hated it. I thought it was against everything that I thought the Power Rangers stood for, and this coming from a guy who watched it growing up. I feel that
I used to watch it too.
Well, anyway, but besides the point, I mean, this is dumb. I really think it is that we don't need everything to be dark and gritty. Now, does this need to be handled a bit more maturely? Yes. I think it can be handled a bit more maturely. I think the suits can be done a little bit better. If any of you have seen Ryu versus the Green Ranger from Bat in the Sun, that is what the suits should look like. That detail is amazing. So, yeah, I mean, I really think this can be handled well. And if they're going to do a sequel, and from the looks of the reception of this, they're probably going to, if they do it right, we'll be seeing the Green Ranger arc again for the second film. And, oh, my God. I mean, seriously, any film that you put the character of Tommy Oliver in, everyone's going to like it.
Well, I mean, I don't think I think it's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be great, but I think, see, the thing is, the reason why a lot of people liked the adult version of the Power Rangers is because people felt like, oh, wow, Power Rangers grew up as we grew up. So that's what it would be like, you know, because everybody grew up. And
yeah, nothing says growing up like watching Zach doing cocaine and shooting guys in the head. I mean,
I'm not saying that they grew up in the you know, a role model that you expected, but it's just a thing that, you know, again, like you want Jason to be reality, right? And I don't. It's just a reverse with the Power Rangers. People didn't want to see the cutesy, you know, corny humor. You know,
well, no, I'm not saying it has to be cutesy. My point is that, you know what, and I'm gonna use the analogy because I'm gonna default here. Do it like how Marvel does their movies. Do it with humor, but also treat the audience like adults.
So you want it to be like Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
That is the tone. That is the tone I want from Power Rangers.
As long as it's not stupid. I mean, you know.
Well, Power Rangers is stupid. We're talking about
I mean, it doesn't have to be like.
Yeah, we're talking teenagers in spandex fighting rubber-suited monsters in a giant robot. It's stupid, it's silly, but that's why we love it.
All right. Do we have time for one more article?
Well, I don't know. At the rate we're going for articles, we probably won't, but...
This is probably going to be... Well, just pick a good one, but you know what? What time is it? Because I know... This is the
5 of 9. It's 5 of 9. And
I do apologize to our subscribers because Steampunk Star Raisin was supposed to be doing his first ever podcast that we're all going to be present on. and that was supposed to start at 11 o'clock. It's almost 9 o'clock. So for some reason, he's starting hours earlier than expected, and I planned on doing at least 4 podcasts before he did his one. So we're going to have to cut this short. Thank you, David.
No problem.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye for now. We'll see you back after Steampunk's podcast.